Welcome to CK Podcast 365. I am your host, Leo Bias. Today we have one of the best storytellers, directors, producers that Sacramento has come to see. Nick, thank you so much, man, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us for a little bit, taking some of your time. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, man.
In LA, in Sacramento.
Yeah,
Thanks.
LA,
Thank
Sacramento,
you so much.
Mexico, all over the place, yeah.
That's right. Mexico, you're doing the film currently right now, right?
Just finished the first one in Mexico. It's called Clear Shot.
Okay.
Mario Van Peebles is our lead. Mandela Van Peebles, Glenn Plummer, David Fernandez, Sandra Gutierrez, Jess Meza. There's a lot of people in it.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, tell the people who you are, how you came to be this man, a successful entrepreneur, and because it all started here, right?
I grew up in downtown Sacramento. Sacktown's always been my hometown. Got into the music industry early, 17 years old. Had a mentor that was a multi-platinum producer in the music industry. So opened up my eyes to being able to see that I could do anything that I wanted to do as far as entertainment goes, and was actually doing it here. And when you're a teenager and you're seeing major artists, the Mariah Careys, the SWVs, all these people that are coming into Sacramento and recording, it kind of gives you that where you can do it. It doesn't matter where you're at. So that probably started my career. I would say really started my career. And then after a couple of years around the music industry, I wanted to get into acting, and I didn't want to be that struggling actor in Hollywood that was, working as a waiter and
Did you
knocking on doors. I did. I started as an actor. I actually did King's commercial. It was one of my first ones. I did LeBron James's very first commercial with him.
No way.
Yeah, and then
that was you in it?
Yeah, no, I was in that commercial too.
Yeah, with the Grant Napier, Jerry Reynolds.
Yeah, all those guys back then. And then I did some River Cat stuff, and I did some stuff for like SBC Global and some independent films and things like that. And then when I decided I wanted to go to LA, I didn't want to be that struggling actor. So I figured I better learn how to do other things. And shooting was my first thing, like filming. And coming from music, it was a natural progression into doing concerts, live concerts for artists. Went on tour with a lot of old school bands. I worked with B2K back then, E40 and that whole Sick With It crew. Was on tour with them. And then music videos. So I've done music videos from everybody.
I saw one last night from 5 years ago with this girl. And then 7 years ago, saw on your playlist on YouTube. It's like 5 years, 7 years. Do you post them a lot?
Accurate. No, I mean, they may not be accurate as far as when they were posted, though. Because I've done music videos that people will repost, or those artists will repost. The last video I did was with After 7 and Babyface. That was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I've done them 15 years ago with Too Short, Corrupt, all different people, Mr. Fab. So, I did a lot of music videos. And then for a few years, I became a creative producer at ABC. So I did hundreds of commercials for ABC that aired on ABC. Even worked with the Kings at that time, and Kaiser and all the local people out here, and the shows on ABC. And decided that wasn't my thing. I needed to go back and focus on feature films. So
what do you love about feature films exactly?
I love the fact that I can take something that is an idea that I have. Like this script that I just did was something that I not only experienced when I was in junior high school, saw it on the news. It was right across from Florin Mall. I was at a friend's house. We saw it was on the news. We ran over there and, hung out in the parking lot, watched it go down. So to be able to take something that I saw or had an idea of, turn it into a script, and then later see it on a screen, that's what I love about filmmaking. And it's there forever.
Storytelling.
Using
your creativity.
Using your creativity to make money and to leave something behind, a legacy, and, create something for the city. We're trying to do as much as we can to highlight Sacramento as well, even though we're shooting in Mexico right now. We got to work on this Sacramento.
Right.
It's there's not enough
incentives. Is there a particular reason why you chose Mexico?
I have a financial team that I work with too. and the incentives in Sacramento to shoot film were just not there yet.
Right.
So I know that they are working on it now, and I'm actually talking to the Business Journal later today about what they're trying to do in Sacramento and stuff, but it just isn't there yet. So what I did in Mexico would have cost me 3 times as much
Right.
here.
Right.
So, and I shot on a legitimate studio in Mexico, Baja Films, where they did Titanic, where they did Pearl Harbor. They do Fear the Walking Dead there, Pokemon, like tons of movies there. So, what I would have spent in Sacramento, I did it for like a third
Right.
in Mexico.
And what's the name of the film?
A Clear Shot.
A Clear Shot.
Clear
When's
Shot.
that supposed to release?
We're looking at probably late spring, early summer. Yeah. So right now we're in the editing process. And
what's that process like? So you go out, you film for a couple months, you'd say?
We filmed for 18 days.
Oh shit.
So we get 1 day off a week, Sundays, and we film 18 days. And they're pretty hard days. I mean, you're up
Long
early.
days.
Yeah, you're up early. You're going to bed at probably 2 in the morning, and you're back on set a couple hours later, and you just do it for 18 days.
It's hard work, y'all. So
it is very hard work. But I have a very strong team down there too. About 52 people on the team that work really hard, every single one of them. So it's a process of managing departments. And
so you do that, and then you do the 18 days. How do you approach and maintain just your focus when it comes to editing? Because
I don't do the edit myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would never take. I need to work on the next movie. So like,
right.
So I have an editor that specifically cuts films, and we also work with distributors.
It'd be like, my God, that's crazy to even think about doing everything. But
so I have to like
makes sense.
Do post supervision and stuff like that. The editor will cut stuff and then show me in 3 or 4 days what's happening,
what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, and then make those changes and stuff. And then we have to go into color correction after the edit is done, and then scoring the movie. So it's a process. It's definitely a process. And then you have to make sure that your distributor likes it, because they'll tell you what to cut too. Put this in, put that actor in more. We want to see more of this person, that person. So it's a process, but they're paying for it.
So the distributor pays for that.
Yes.
And that can be who?
Right now we've been talking to Hannibal Pictures.
Okay.
We have quite a few other people that we're talking to as well. Don't really want to say just
right
yet,
now. Is that coming on? Is that going to be in theaters, or is it going to come out like on?
We're shooting
Netflix,
for a small theatrical.
Okay.
So limited theaters around the country is what we're shooting for.
It'll
definitely be on Netflix. We're gonna do a premiere in Sacramento and a premiere in Hollywood. So I do want to show Sacramento some love on it. It does take. The story takes place. It's inspired by a real story that happened in Sacramento. So I want to definitely do a premiere here, bring the actors here from LA, and then we'll do one in LA as well. So yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Normally the premieres are where? In
Sacramento?
Yeah.
Either at Crest Theater or Tower. It'd be one of those two. One of the artsy theaters.
And what type of advice can you give those future movie producers, directors that want to get into the business? As they just heard, it takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice, right?
Advice. I mean, I would say learn as much as you can about your craft and network as much as you can. Because it's all about networking. You know what I mean? You can. I know a ton of people that know their stuff when it comes to filmmaking, but don't have the connections to. When you sell a film, like the first thing the distributor's going to look at is who's in your film. And then, they're going to look at the different markets that they can sell it to and stuff. They're going to look at the quality of your film. And then they're going to look at the director. So I'm like third place. So, yeah. So I would say, definitely learn your craft and network like crazy. So.
It's interesting when you say networking now. I was watching one of your videos last night. I guess it was even 10 years ago. And you kind of highlight the idea of being very cautious of who you have around you, the people that are with you through thick and thin, and then the people that are not with you. Can you kind of decipher
You're talking about an interview that I did before.
Yeah. So just, having that true inner circle, that people that can inspire you, motivate you, push you to get to your goals.
Yeah, it's very important to have support and a strong team. And in this business, it is hard to find loyal people.
Right.
This is an entertainment business, so it's not the entertainment friendship. So unfortunately, I have a very strong team, though. Obviously, with our podcast and stuff too, with Life of Leisure show, everybody's like family to me, so I get a lot of support. A lot of the people that work with me on the show work with me in general. Anthony is my assistant director. He's also on the show as a co-host. But he's worked with me since he was 18 years old.
Wow.
He's 30s now. He's getting old. So but you find the people that work hard and work with you as a team, and you build each other up. And the people that come along and only want you for that certain period of time or try to gain something from it, they'll fall off.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually fall off. You'd be surprised how many people call you out of the blue when you got a new movie coming out, though.
What happens? How do you approach that? How do you be like?
I'm cordial to everybody, but I mean, it's like, you've had my number for 20 years, hasn't changed.
Now you're calling me?
Yeah. So but I'm always cordial with everybody.
Right. You're not like F you.
No.
You're professional.
Right. And if I can do something with you, let's do it. Sometimes the timing's not always right, but if the timing is right and you can bring something to the table and I can bring something to help you at the same time, let's do it. So it's not about me. It's about everybody.
Right.
So.
And you also have, would you say, a digital agency on the side, or? Because I was looking on your website, so you guys offer multiple.
Yeah, I've always done
video production and
I've always done video productions, commercials, music videos.
How do you balance the business, the directing, the making the movies?
I don't really do much video production anymore.
Okay.
Like I mainly do our show and feature films. That's it now. So before we were doing everything. If occasionally I get long-term clients that have come to me and say, "Hey, I want you to do this production," and they're big paying clients, so I'm not going to turn them down.
Right.
But I'm never like seeking more.
Okay. That's kind of in the past. Now you're just moving forward and just saying.
Yeah. So my focus now is features. Like we're trying to knock out 4 features this year. But normally I would do like 1 feature a year, if even that. So I'm trying to knock out 4 this year, and we start the second one March 25th. So.
And how do you balance that with family time?
That's all I have. Like, it's work and family time. And I'm not, you're not gonna find me at the club. You're not gonna, you might find me at a Kings game once in a while. but other than that, if I'm not on set, I'm with my family. So that's it. I did my partying when I was young.
Right. It's all focused now.
Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
It's focused, and I've always been focused. But now, more so, it's there's more important things that I have to leave behind.
Kids?
Yeah, I have 3 kids.
3 kids?
I have 2 in college right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that like? I mean, just
it's crazy.
Dad's director. Do you get like their friends always talking about?
I used to, especially when I was doing a lot of music video stuff, and I was going to VMAs, and I was with Chris Brown and all these, which my kids were in school, loved these artists, and they were always like, I was kind of like the cool dad to them, but my kids now, they're just whatever. Like they don't want to be in entertainment. They're just like, they're doing their own thing. So my youngest daughter, though, she just turned 4.
Okay.
She's in entertainment. She does modeling. She was in Babyface's last video that I did with After 7. Yeah, she's she's getting there.
That's
I think she'll probably do something, modeling, acting, something like that. So
she's gonna stay in the.
I think so. Yeah. She has that energy in her that she wants the attention. So we'll see.
Isn't it? It's funny because you bring that up. I have a goddaughter. Beautiful baby, like a model baby, and then the sister, not so much, a lot more shallow. you can kind of tell from like an early stage, right? Like the kids have their own personalities and they develop
Yeah,
them.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
So let's transition to some basketball. I know you're a big Kings fan. The Kings are doing very well this year.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, they just pulled off some great trades yesterday. What did you
Did you
think?
like the trade?
I love the trade. We can go on basketball talk and be like, I love the trade. I probably know that Shump has a lot of ties and connections to Sacramento with the whole scores thing. He did a marvelous job. He brought that swagger to the team that the team needed badly.
uh,
But just what do you think about the trade?
I honestly don't know enough about it yet to
Right,
see. I don't know enough about the players
right.
that to see. I mean, only time's gonna tell, I guess. You know what I mean? I feel like the Kings trade so much
Right.
that it's hard to like really get in the groove of like these are the people that can really make it happen. You know what I mean? Because I almost feel like once you feel like they're getting somebody who is
Hmm.
gonna make it happen, they're getting traded.
Now, do you think they'll make the playoffs this year?
It'd be nice to see them in the playoffs. Do I think they're gonna get to the point where they did back in the Doug Christie days and stuff?
Right.
I think we still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, those were
Yeah,
the golden era of the days, right?
yeah,
When you had Doug, Chris, Vlade,
yeah.
all those
Mike
guys.
and all those. Yeah.
So, what else? So Mexico, I know you're continuing to build that reputation in doing films in Mexico. Talk a little bit about what you have in store. I know you kind of mentioned earlier that you have some crazy projects coming up. Just mind talking a little bit about those.
The next project I'm doing in Mexico, I'm actually producing it. Another filmmaker friend of mine, Felipe Cisneros from Sacramento, is actually directing it.
Oh,
And he was going to do his film here in Sacramento, and we decided to take it to Mexico as well for the same reasons.
right, right.
So I'll be producing that one. It's a kind of a sci-fi thriller type of thing. I don't want to give it away because it's his film.
Right, right. Sci-fi.
But yeah, we start that one March 25th. We'll be there for 18 days again, shooting that one. We're currently casting
How do you choose
process.
actors? I mean, do you do like your own scouting?
We do a casting call in Los Angeles at Hollywood
Oh, right.
Casting, and then this one we'll cast a lot of people out of San Diego since it's right across the border,
Hmm.
and then we bring them over the border and stuff. So yeah, and it just depends on a lot of it depends on who's available, who's on shows at the time, who's not on shows, who likes the script, whose agent says yes, who's so that's how we cast.
What's it like dealing with like the agents of? Is it the same as a basketball player where you got to go through the agent, all this drama that?
No, I deal directly with the actors, and then they have to send it to their agents to get approval. So that's why I
Okay.
say it's very important that you build relationships with people in Hollywood, and then you can directly talk to. I mean, people like Mario Van Peebles. Mario just called me right before I came in here and was talking about the trailer and stuff like that we're doing. But when you start building those relationships, then you can rely on the people that you have in your relationships, like Mario and these other actors, and say, "Hey, I've got this other script. Who do you think will be good for this?" And they'll turn you on to more actors as well. But you always have to deal with agents. It's business. So,
Right.
yeah, but you want to make sure that they like it.
Say, well, Mexico has a negative connotation, bad government, a lot of cartels out there. I've
I would
always been
say I
interested in that.
produced for ABC before,
Yeah.
and we were always told to give you the worst news ever for ratings.
It's true.
So I can tell you that when I mean, all these places that the news reports on the border, all these refugees from Honduras that are
The
rushing the
news is
border
depressing, man.
supposedly. Yeah, we've walked around those camps, so I am by the border all the time. Obviously, when I come back and forth, and a lot of my crew live in Tijuana. It's not like what U.S. media says it is.
Makes it seem right.
Yeah, and I can tell you honestly, I feel much safer in Mexico than I do in Sacramento. Every day you hear stuff about people getting shot at theaters or schools or shootings or whatever on the news in Sacramento. there's no random shootings that just happen in Mexico. 'Cause guns are completely illegal in Mexico, so you can't just go and buy a gun on the street like you can here. There's cartel action that
Right.
happened in Mexico, but the cartel does
They're going
not.
after the other competitor or the other
Yeah,
cartel.
they're not killing Americans. They're not killing like tourists, and they're not going after that. But we highlight that stuff. So we highlight like cartel shootings, cartel whatever. But that doesn't just happen all the time like that. Like we've never had one incident in Mexico where we felt unsafe or you know. So yeah, and we have a documentary coming up with
Right.
the cartel.
Right.
So
And what do you plan on? What's the angle of that? Just
we're
briefly.
calling it Life of a Narco. So it's most of the documentaries that you see about cartels and the Pablo Escobars and all these type of
Right.
things that you see all over the place are only focused on the killings, the drug smuggling, the cartel wars, things like that. We want to show the human side of it as well. Of course, we're going to have to show the side of it that is what they do. But there's also cartel members that go home to families, go home to their kids. We want to show sitting down, having dinner with them, and talking about why they do what they do. Because you got to understand that people, especially in like Sinaloa and stuff, they don't have the choice to say like if you live in Sacramento, you have the choice when you're growing up to join a gang or not.
Right.
You know what I mean, I'm either going to go this way or I'm going to go that way. You don't have that choice in some places. So and a lot of times you're growing up, your parents are part of it. And it's a different way of life than what we have here. So they don't necessarily look at it as it's really bad. So they just have to do that to survive. You know what I mean? So, and not everybody in the cartel is what you see on movies and stuff, shooting everybody up and stuff like that. So
it's not real life, yeah.
Yeah. So, but of course, when you watch, the news, they're only going to show you what the worst case scenarios are and what the worst stuff is. And so we want to we're not trying to like in any kind of way make
them seem like
great
they're
people
angels,
and like they're angels or any kind of, but we do want to tell like a story that's more human. That's like, why are you part of the cartel? Like, why do you do this? Why do you do what you do? Not just, I'm shooting people or I'm smuggling drugs. It's because you need to feed your kids. You know what I mean? In some cases. So
it's funny you say that because my fiance's coworker is like, well, I'm not going to Cancun because Americans just got shot. But the odds of that happening, and you're like, yeah, but if you stay like in the resort area where all the tourists are,
right now,
nothing like it. I just went. It was marvelous. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like your chances of getting shot are way higher here in Sacramento, walking down the street, than getting shot.
We just had a shooting right here, literally across the street.
Okay, well, see, you know what I mean? People get shot out here. I've had in the last 3 years, I've had a couple friends that got shot just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? So over there, you don't have that. There's not just random shootings everywhere. Like, yeah, it's sad that those Americans got caught in the middle of that, but I mean, you're talking about how many Americans actually are there every single day. Like where I'm at in Rosarito, more than half the people that live there are Americans. People don't realize that. You walk around, it's like they're Americans that retired and live there. You know what I mean? So they're not getting shot at every day. You know what I mean? I've asked my second AD that lives in Tijuana, because he lives in kind of a sketchy neighborhood. I said, man, is it a pretty bad neighborhood to live in and stuff like that? He said, no, it's pretty quiet. And he told me they had a shooting. Well, not even a shooting. It was somebody got arrested with a gun like a year and a half ago. I'm like, a year and a half ago? That happens every day in Sacramento. Like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, but of course,
it's just some perspective for the people that have these negative connotations on just like Mexico, gun violence, drug violence, when they don't realize that a lot of it is because of this country. Like, we allow that.
Yeah, and we don't highlight the good things that happen there too. So just like when you watch the news here, what do you see? Crashes, shootings, all that stuff, because it's all about numbers for networks. So
absolutely. So I know you have to do some other interviews. Is there any final things that you want to talk about? Where can people find your work? I know you have a YouTube channel.
Everything's at Nick Leisure.
NickLeisure.com.
So, yeah, NickLeisure.com. On social media at Nick Leisure. Our show is at Life of Leisure Show. Yeah.
What do you talk about on your podcast?
We talk about everything. We have athletes that come on. We've had Jabberwockies. We've had anchors from local news. We try to talk to people that are doing stuff in the community, entertainment, and anybody who's doing something in the community. And then sometimes it's just there's 6 of us on the show that we just talk about topics that are happening, and it's fun. We've got some sponsors, Deep Eddy, and we've got some good sponsors. So
and people can find that on iTunes, Spotify, all those platforms.
Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all that stuff. Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. So, and YouTube, definitely on YouTube too.
Do you guys go live with those?
We go live on Instagram. We're just starting to go live on YouTube now. Okay. So, yeah, we're trying to catch up. We've got, I don't know how many episodes, almost 100 episodes or something like that now. So we're trying to catch up. But in between running from here across the border, we're, trying to make it happen. So.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate Nick for coming on. Very busy man. Very proud of you. I don't know you that well yet, but the things that you're doing, you're going to continue to inspire other people who want to get into this business. Tell people it's not easy, but at the same time, if you put the work in, things will go well.
Yeah, for the most part. Can't do nothing but grow. Keep growing.
Make mistakes, but grow from them.
Yes. So exactly.
So we appreciate you, Nick. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I like the spot, man. It's cool.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, see you later.